Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I make my own silicone coaster mold for resin projects. So this is one that I previously made before, and I'm going to be making one like this today. So I'm going to start off by showing you my supply list. So the most expensive thing in my supply list is this smooth on silicone rubber. I'm not sure of the price of it, but I think it was in the $30. It's pourable, super easy to use. Also, we're going to be using a foam core board. Fun fact, this was actually going to be a mold that I was going to make, but I decided otherwise, so now I'm just going to use it to cut out my shape that I'm going to make today. And to cut that out, I have some options. I have an electric scissors. I believe I bought that on Amazon or eBay. I have a regular scissors, and I have a pretty dull X-Acto knife. Also a pencil to draw my shape. I have this Rubbermaid plastic container, and what I did to it was cut out the bottom. It was super easy to cut out the bottom. Don't have a video or anything of it, but I'm pretty sure I just made a mark inside. I made a dent in here and just went around it, and as you can see, it's not perfect. It does not have to be perfect. Also, you need a cup to mix your silicone rubber in, and you need something to mix it. And I'm also going to be using these two cups. These two cups are like my measurement cups because this is a 1-to-1 ratio, and to fill the whole fill up of each cup measures up to what I need. And I believe I got that measurement by, before cutting, I filled this up with some water like halfway, and then I poured it into a cup like this, and then I divided that equally. And I had these cups on hand, so I divided it equally, and it turned out it was the right exact measurement for that. So that was very lucky, and it came in handy. So the first step I'm gonna do is, I kind of did it already, I'm gonna make my shape. Well, the first step for you, if you're doing this at home, you may want to measure out all of that first, and then cut out your bottom of your container. And I like to get, I want to use up all the space of this container, like virtually all the space. So you can do that by making sure your shape, you want to leave some space because you don't want it too thin around the edges, but definitely make sure that you're utilizing the space. Like, I have a mold here where this space was not utilized, and I just felt like I was wasting the silicone. I used to make shapes in here so it can fill up the space. Like, I just want to make sure that I'm utilizing all of the space. But anyway, so it looks like it's utilizing most of the space, so I'm just gonna go and cut it out. Now, it's not gonna be perfect. It's definitely not gonna be perfect. I'm gonna try to follow this pattern, but most likely I'm not gonna get the pattern. So I'm gonna go with the electric scissors because I find it to be a little bit easier. Okay. It may die on me, and I may have to switch to something else. I have to do this a little bit off camera because you're not going to really be able to see. I'm going to take this scissors and cut away this excess so I can try to get this on camera for you to see. Okay, also on the supply list that I completely failed to mention, okay, is a hot glue gun. So what I'm going to use this hot glue gun for is to just glue around the edges. And I'm going to show you a previous one. So I just glue around the edges so it can have a smooth edge, because it has this foam core and it's all beat up and everything. And the side, since my foam core board has like these lines will show up. So I'm gonna have this part faced up so that those lines do not show in my mold. And I know that from experience. It was very heartbreaking to see all those lines in my mold when I did not want them. So I'm just waiting, gonna wait for this glue gun. Okay, no, let's heat it up. Okay. Of course, you're gonna need glue sticks. May have to use a couple of glue sticks to get it right. So I just like to go around it. You can even go around it a couple of times, and then I like to hold it where it's just like dropping down, because this, I think I have it on the high setting, really hot. So it's gonna take a while for it to cool down, and I just like to do it in sections, and I hold it like this so it can just fall down. And if you have a really thick piece of foam core board, you may have to do it like twice, because I've noticed sometimes that when I did this on a thicker piece, that it doesn't cover the whole thing, doesn't cover the whole width of it. I also just realized that I failed to mention in the supply list, you will need tape. Just regular packaging tape. So I kind of went over the side on this one. So I'm gonna let it cool completely first, and then I'm gonna try to wipe it away or cut it away. So I don't really, because if you touch it right now, it gets all smudgy and it's just like a whole complete mess. So I'll just rather fix it when it's dry. And that most likely happened because I probably was tilting it too much and it tilted over. So you kind of want to just keep it straight, kind of guide it. When I've made odd looking shapes, I used to blow on it to make it like this shape. I had to blow to make it go into the corners. Like, yeah. It's really cool though that it gives you pretty smooth edge. I like this little hack of the hot glue. The first part is already cooled down, so it cools pretty fast. It's hot glue. If you're familiar with hot glue, and there we go. This wasn't meant to be a full circle or have any crazy shapes to it, so and as you can see, I did not follow the outline that I had. And you don't need an electric scissors. You can use a regular scissor. It works just as good. I just wanted to get this done a little bit faster, and the electric scissors is faster. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to get rid of this. That's gonna be bad. Kind of smudge that in because I was hoping it can give me a clean, smooth. I'm hoping that it gives me a clean and smooth backing, but it's not, because when I took that off, that little piece that was there, it took off some of the paper with it. Okay, so this is fine. Just look around, see if there's any spots you want to be covered, because pretty much what you see here is what you're going to get in the mold. Just make sure you have all the spots. Okay, so I'm going to put that to dry to the side, and the next part involves our container and tape. This is the side that we're going to pour it into. This part is going to have tape on it. And you can see this is the top of the container. Don't really want to use the container lid because it's not sticky, for one. The stickiness of the tape helps us to keep the shape down in place. And also it has, it's not a flat top, it has ridges. I'm just gonna tape the top. Go overlap the tape a bit. and cut off the excess tape. And you just smooth it down over the edge. You can also place it down and make sure it's smooth. This will be a great time for you to, also on my supply list is gloves. So this would be a great time for you to put on gloves. I do not have gloves, so therefore I'm not using gloves. And I'm going to make sure that I do not get any of this on my hands. I got some paper towels, and yeah, the plan is not to get any on my hands. And I've done that successfully before. So I'm gonna measure out a cupful of this. Oh wait, nope. See, I already did it wrong. I did that very wrong. Okay, the first step with this is not to just pour. The first step is to mix that. You should follow the directions on the box of your product. So the first step is to stir, and it says it on the top. You have to stir first. Stir it really well. This, on this particular product, the blue one is more liquidy and it's very easy to stir, so that took no time to stir and really well. So now I'm gonna measure out a whole cupful. Then I'm gonna pour it in here. Gonna wipe this off and use this stain stick. Just wiping it off with a piece of tissue. If you can get popsicle sticks, the flat popsicle sticks, that will work so much better, and it's recommended. I'm using this round one because I do not have any of the popsicle sticks. Now this pink one is a little bit thicker and it requires a good stir. Popsicle stick would be so much better. This round stick is quite annoying. I'm gonna measure out a cupful here. And I think this may be the last mold I can make with this. I've made 2 successful molds, and I've made 2 user error practice molds. And this will be my 5th mold that I'm making out of this with that same container method. So that's pretty good with this product. Yeah, I'm having to scrape this out, so this is it. No more molds after this. I have to buy more. Scraping this out with this round stick. This is like torture. Oops. It's very, this one pours really good too. It's just the fact that this is the last bits of it that I'm scraping it out. But this one pours just as smoothly as the blue one when it's not down to its last. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start transferring this to my bigger cup. And if you have a popsicle stick, you can also get all of these on the sides. Okay. So I'm gonna mix this for 2 minutes, and I'll be back in, well, I'll show you the first part. See, mixing it, but I'm gonna do this for about 2 minutes as the direction says, and I'll be back. Okay, so I mixed for 2 minutes, and this is the results. Our little shape has dried. The hot glue has dried. So now I'm gonna place the shape here on top of the tape. Try to get it centered as possibly, and I'm making sure that the smooth side is up. Remember, my foam core board has this gridded side, and those grid lines will show up if I have that facing up. Just trying to make sure that is in the center. I'm just going to press down on it. definitely easier to press down this way. Just making sure. Okay. And then you just pour. Just pouring and making sure that it's even. Kind of like to guide it a little bit. So you can clean off your stick, whatever you use. I just clean off the parts, like that part had the pink solution on it, so I just cleaned that part up. With round sticks, it's better to just clean the whole thing off, because when it dries and it comes time for you to take it off, it gets it's very weird. It doesn't come off like one fell sweep like how you can do it with the cup. So I just like to clean off my stick. In the cup, I just leave it to let it dry. What I also do, I've been doing, is making sure that I pop some of these bubbles, because I noticed on one mold that there was a bubble. It wasn't on this one. I think it was on this one, and I filled it in. It was right here. There was a bubble that led from this corner to the outside. It was pretty, this mold was pretty thin, so that was kind of understandable, but I did have to go in and fill it up. Usually the bubbles sometimes pop on their own, but I tend to have a lot of bubbles. I stir vigorously because I'm using a stinking round stick to stir, so I'm pretty sure that has something to do with it. And as I pop them, I just try to make sure that they're filling in, because when you pop them, they sometimes don't fill in, the bubbles. So I just pop them and go in a circular motion. And I don't do every bubble because there's a lot in here. I kind of try to go towards the ones where it's the edge of my shape, because like I said, it was the edge of the shape that led to the outside. Those big bubbles. So I just do that out of precaution. Okay, and that's all I'm doing. Okay, that's my last bubble I popped. So I'm just gonna let this sit. I'm gonna use that container lid and just place it on top of it and just let it sit. Now it has on the instruction sheet how long everything takes. I have this one, the 30, and it says cure time is 6 hours. So yep, so I'll be back. I'm gonna be back the next day and I'll show you. Okay, so it's the next day and I'm going to demold. I'm going to demold by taking off the tape. And just pushing it through. And popping the shape out. And voila. Okay, now you can see right here, this is where I pulled that piece from the bottom, so it took on that exact texture. So you definitely want to make sure to be careful with that. It also took on the line marks, so you want to, yeah, it has a little bit of an indent of the line marks, so you kind of want to be careful with that. But everything else looks fine. And I'm also going to clean up my cup. It's so easy to clean up. Voila. Now my cup can be used again. Now I'm going to use this mold right away. I'm going to pour off camera some resin that I have here. I have my colors, I have gold, white, and I have some of these foil flakes. I'm doing it off camera because I do not have the proper equipment and I don't want this video to be used as a tutorial for someone. So I'm taking the risk, but I do not want to show the risk so no one else can do the mistakes that I'm doing. So I'll be back. Okay, so this is my resin poured and I'm going to come back tomorrow and show you the demolding of this. Okay, now so that my resin has dried, I'm going to demold. Ooh. Looks very cool on the back side. That's how it looks on the front. Just clean it up. So it's still kind of soft, so I'm just gonna lay it flatly on my desk. But look, our mold and our resin art, our little coaster. So I like this one better than my other one. This is the shape of my other. It's pretty, it's bigger. It's great for a water bottle, great for any glass. So thank you for watching, and I hope you try it at home.